is push from my right heel over and down into my left. This is the oblique pronation drill. I'm setting up in a wide, almost sumo-ish stance. Okay, feet are turned out, and just being in this middle position, I can feel my weight heavy through my heels, both of them, okay? I'm gonna sink straight down. You're gonna tuck your pelvis and kind of push it forward as best you can without doing any sort of arching of the back or hinging forward. Be cautious of the hinge, because when you look down to check this, you're gonna want to hinge, you're naturally gonna fall forward. So stay up nice and tall, sink down a few inches so you feel like you're in this sort of sumo-y, squatty position, but push and tuck your pelvis forward. This will feel like a lot of tension in the pelvis and the hips on the back side. Okay, that's good. You might feel some adduction stretch too. Basically just want to find this wide enough stance to where my knees are behind my ankles respectively. So if you were to draw a straight line down from my knee, it is behind my ankle, it is not over my ankle. That's where we're going to finish. Sinking down, I can take my arms out in front to kind of match my thigh angle. I'm going to focus on this left leg first. What I want to do, staying heel heavy, is push from my right heel over and down into my left, okay? Over and down, you notice my pelvis here. I am very slightly starting from a little bit of a squatty position, but I'm moving down into more of a squatty position. And this is very subtle, but you're gonna feel a lot of work happening in the thigh and in the hip. The purpose of me getting that hip forward, butt kind of pushed forward and turning out is exactly that. It's to turn out the femurs, the thigh bones. So you wanna spin those out and back as much as you can and maintain full foot contacts, okay? So you feel ball of the big toe, ball of the pinky toe, and heel. I'm driving myself down, getting a little bit of pronation, so you shouldn't necessarily feel your foot flattening, right? But that's what we're after, is this arch kind of coming down and flattening, and then we're pushing back out of it with that left heel. Now, as I do this, and as you do this, again, be cautious that you're not trying to look at it and you're hinging forward and rounding down. You're staying up tall, hips are coming forward, and you are just moving down and into that position till you get about knee over ankle. It does not need to be any more than that. We're freeing up the forefoot and creating pronation by staying weighted heavy in the heel. If you drop into this and you start to go into the forefoot, you're gonna lock up the toes. I'm making this dramatic, and you're not gonna do what we're trying to do, which is free up the forefoot. Now here's one caveat to this. If you have a little ramp or a wedge like this, it would help most of us, I'll tell you in the description here, to pop that underneath the first 3 met heads, so the first 3 toes, underneath the ball of the big toe, okay? If you have a longer one or whatever else, your toe can be on it, it can float off whatever it needs to be. We're essentially bringing the floor up to your foot to help here as we move through this subtle descent oscillation back and forth. You might go side to side. I might have you go right side first and then left side. If you do not have one of those wedges, you can use a towel and place that under the first 3 toes. Just make sure it's not too big of a towel. It's not folded over so many times. It's just giving you something to sense the ball of the big toe as you move from the starting position to that sort of dropping down position. When you push in and out, use your heels, not the forefoot, not the front of your foot, okay? Staying heel heavy is very important in this, because what we're trying to do is create more true pronation, like so. If you start to move your weight into the forefoot, all you're gonna do is stay locked up, and obviously your heel's not lifting off the ground, but it's not creating this drop in the arch that we're looking for, okay? If you were to look down and see your toes, you wanna see some sort of spreading or lengthening of the toes. Now, this is not gonna happen for many of us because we're stiff and we're practicing this and getting better at it, but essentially we're going through an arch to a bit of a flattening. If we go too far forward, we're gonna ruin this, and we're not gonna move these joints, these bones, in their relative manner that they need to move in. We're simply gonna keep things stiff and kind of hinge around the points that already move. We're trying to get more of these 26 bones to move.